Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good. I welcome you to today's session where we will be discussing important news stories for the day from the prelims examination point of view. The news taken mainly from the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, the PIB, Down to Earth, and other sources. If you are new here and you have missed out on any of the earlier classes of this series, you can find the link of the entire playlist of the 9 p.m. daily quiz in the description of this video. Do go through the earlier classes as well. And if you're new here and you have not hit the subscribe button, please do that also. I would highly appreciate that going forward. You can also download my app from the Google Play Store. This is called the Harshmeet Study Circle. This is the app where I have been running all the other types of courses, including the PSIR optional live classes, the PSIR test series, personal mentorship programs for mains answer writing, prelims, and much, much more. Let's begin with the first question then. Which amongst the following leads to automatic exclusion from the beneficiary list of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin scheme? So, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin scheme, in its eligibility criteria, says that there are certain people who will be excluded from this list. Which of these are those criteria? Number one, owning a motorized 3 or 4 wheeler. Second, owning mechanized 3-4 wheeler agricultural equipment. Third, Kisan credit card with a credit limit of 50,000 rupees or above. Fourth, household with any member as a government employee. Fifth, any member of family paying income tax. Or fifth, land ownership ceiling of 2.5 acres or more of irrigated land. Which of these might lead to automatic exclusion from being in the beneficiary list of PM Awas Yojana Gramin? Slightly tricky, think about it. This is in the news because the government has just recently made some changes in the eligibility criteria, has rather cut short this exclusion list. The answer here is D. All the six above. If you have any one of these, you will be excluded from being a beneficiary in Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. All of these are above correct. In the Indian Express, you will find this article about how the government has relaxed norms under this scheme. So anyone who has income up to 15,000 per month was earlier in the exclusion list. Now that has been removed. Earlier, if you had a refrigerator, you were excluded from the beneficial list. That has also been removed now. If you had a two-wheeler earlier or you had a landline, even that led to your removal from the beneficial list. That has been removed now. So the exclusion list has been cut short for this particular scheme. Next question number 2. The Sherman Antitrust Act is recently in the news. It is a landmark law of which of the following nations? Germany, US, UK, or Singapore? The Sherman Antitrust Act. It is in the news because one of the biggest companies in the world is facing antitrust proceedings and may be broken down into multiple companies because of its huge standing in the market, because of the monopoly that it has created in its business. The answer here is B, the US. As you know, Google is facing antitrust proceedings because of its dominant position in the search engine market, where it has made it very difficult for other companies to survive. That is why, under the American law called the Sherman Antitrust Act, which does not allow any monopolies to exist, there are proceedings going on, there are hearings going on, which may force Google to end its monopoly by breaking it into multiple parts. This is a very, very important development for the world of technology, and everyone is keeping an eye on this. Question number 3. Consider the following statements with regard to antimicrobial resistance or AMR. Number 1. AMR is a result of evolution of microbes in a situation where there is a misuse or overuse of antibiotics. Second, pharmaceutical waste from antibiotic manufacturing can facilitate the emergence of new drug-resistant bacteria. Third, use of colistin as growth promotional agent in poultry farming has led to colistin AMR, antimicrobial resistance, in India. How many of these given statements are correct? Antimicrobial resistance is a big problem, not just in India, but in countries around the entire world. And we see a lot of articles being written on this, on different aspects. This article also focuses on the problems related to antimicrobial resistance. In this aspect, all the three given statements are correct. When you consume antibiotics which are not required by your body, the microbes in your body get used to it, they develop resistance against it. So, in a situation when you would really require them to work, where you'll really require them to help your body, the microbes will be used to it and they will not have any impact of it. That situation is called antimicrobial resistance. It can also happen because of poultry farming, because a lot of poultry farmers inject antibiotics, medicines into the poultry so that they can increase their weight and they can gain more money. All these are factors that lead to antimicrobial resistance. The answer here is C. All three here are correct. There's a detailed article in today's Indian Express newspaper about the grave threat from antimicrobial resistance. It also talks about the different types of pathogens that usually are related to it, such as E. coli and others. Question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to ovarian cancer. Number 1. Ovarian cancer presents vague symptoms like bloating, pelvic or abdominal pain, loss of appetite, feeling full quickly, and an urgent or frequent need to urinate. Second, ovarian cancer has two main subtypes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 tumors are more common and more aggressive, while type 2 tumors are less common, typically diagnosed at an early stage, and have a better prognosis. Third, unlike breast or cervical cancer, there is no effective screening for ovarian cancer. How many of these are correct? Now, ovarian cancer has become a big threat, a major threat for females around the entire world. One of the reasons why it is such a big threat is that there's no proper screening process to understand whether the patient is suffering from ovarian cancer. And even the symptoms are very vague. So, first and third are correct. Second one is wrong. It is actually the type 2 tumor which is more common and aggressive, while type 1 tumor, on the other hand, is lesser common as compared to second. Type 1 tumor is diagnosed at an early stage and it is easier to treat. The answer thus is B. Two of the three given statements here are correct. In today's Hindu newspaper, there is an article about ovarian cancer. It's understanding because September is the Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Do read that article. Question number 5. Consider the following statements with regard to National Research Foundation. Number 1. NRF is presided by the Prime Minister and consists of 10 major directorates focusing on different domains on science, arts, humanities, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Second, NRF has a 20-member board with eminent Indian and international scientists, senior government functionaries, and industry leaders. Third, its objectives include increasing India's investment in R&D, research and development, from 0.7% of GDP to 5% of GDP by 2030. How many of these are correct? Think about this. This is one of government's flagship initiatives to give a push to research in India. First is correct. It is headed by the Prime Minister. Second is wrong. It is actually an 18-member board and not 20. It will have 18 members. Third is also wrong. See, 5% of GDP in India will be a huge number. Jumping from 0.7 to 5% will be a huge jump. It's almost 7.5 times. So, no, that is not true. The expectation is to bring it to 2% of GDP and not 5%. So, the answer here is A. Out of the three given statements, only the first one is correct. Second and third statements here are wrong. The correct answer here is A. This is in the news because PM Modi has convened the first meeting of National Research Fund Board that will collect money for the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. To end the day today, again I have an infographic for you. This is about government's initiatives for urban development announced as a part of this budget. For a lot of years now, there has been a lot of talk about the need to focus on proper urban development, with our cities now facing increased population pressure, which is being seen in crumbling infrastructure, flooding, etc. That is why there's a need to ensure that urban development is given a priority, and this is the government's initiative in this regard. Do remember all these points, these are important for your mains examination. This brings us to the end of our session. If you learned something new, do hit the like button, share it with your friends. Do tell me in the comment section how did you like it. I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. Jai Hind.